Hi, my name is Katelyn Ferral and I'm a transatlantic master's student at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm joined here today by Professor Mareike Kleine. She's an assistant professor at the London School of Economics, and she's going to be speaking to TAM students today about informal governance in the European Union. So, Professor, can you explain to students why, from the perspective of your research, why Americans should pay attention to the debt crisis in Europe?
Well, I think there are two reasons really why Americans should care about what happens in Europe. The first reason is that the European Union is the world's most important trading partner. According to WTO figures, the European Union accounts for 40% of all world trade. This excludes intra-European trade. Also, it is the prime destination and source for US foreign direct investments. So basically, the US and Europe are closely interdependent, and naturally what happens in Europe should be of primary concern for the United States. But there's also a second reason why I think that not only Americans, but also the whole world should actually care about what happens in Europe. That is, no region in the world is so heavily interdependent than the European Union. So if you look at the figures, there are no internal tariffs within the European Union. Even the level of price convergence in the EU is at a level that is comparable to the United States. So it's the world's most integrated market. And naturally, this is of interest to all other regions in the world that become more and more interdependent. So how the European member states actually manage to reach such a high level of economic integration and still remain independent sovereign nation states, that is of concern not only in my research, but should be of concern for the US and the world as such. And this is exactly what my book tries to answer. The conventional wisdom about why the European Union has been able to reach such a deep, high level of economic interdependence is that the EU, in contrast to other international organizations, possesses very, very strong formal and rigid rules. For instance, the Commission has very strong supranational autonomy. In contrast to this conventional wisdom, I argue that this is only half of the story. Informal governance actually surrounds all these formal rules and is necessary for these formal rules to work to begin with. To give one example for informal governance practice, the formal rules in the European Union say that there should be majority voting in the Council where the member states come together. In practice, we see, however, that member states never actually vote. They always try to search for a consensus. And my book tries to explain what can account for these informal governance practices and how they help to sustain this deep level of economic integration.
Well, thank you, Professor Kleine. If you would like to view the lecture, you can subscribe to our center's YouTube channel or click on the link below and check back every week for a new lecturer. Thanks.